Are these helpful, insightful? Do you like me rambling on about certain stuff like this? Do you want to see training footage, food footage? If you do, most of that's going to be on my Instagram. This is going to be much more long form and trying to be more informative and more documentary style as far as experience from what I'm going through. I will be trying to make some edits as far as more training clips and things for YouTube. And then especially as the season progresses, I'm going to be making more cuts into the competition, what it's like in that space, and then hopefully transition completely into YouTube with just like a bunch more variety of content as far as bodybuilding lifestyle. So yeah, thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Have a wonderful week. What's going on, y'all? I hope everyone's doing well. This is my vlog 3 update, and week's going pretty well. As far as progress, consistently weighing in the 154s right now. So woke up 154.6 yesterday, 154.8. Excuse me. Still my lowest weigh-in has been in 152s. So yeah, feeling good. This is where we wanted to be. I think judging or based off of my posing practice or my first posing session, which is Wednesday. Today's Monday, the 16th. So based off of how posing practice goes on the 18th, we'll see if there's going to be any adjustments to the protocol. So currently still running 6 days at 2250 calories, and then 1 refeed day at 3000. As far as hunger and fatigue comes and goes. It really is determined on how precise I am on my feeding times. So if I extend it, if something comes up or I get delayed or something in my window of this like 4 to 5 hours of eating in between, I definitely feel it. If sleep is thrown off in any way, I definitely feel it. But it's not like this persistent, consistent hunger and fatigue. I will say that if it's an early day, I get started early. It's 4:58 right now. That by 4 o'clock, yeah, I'm feeling, that's the end of my day. So it's because I'll have knocked out steps by then. I'll have worked out and I'll have gone through most of my work day. So my days end earlier. My evenings start to wind down about 7 or 8, and I try and get in bed by 9. I've been getting in bed by 10. Haven't been as good about it, and that's kind of the harder part with just, for me at least, is that wind down, that going to bed. I don't know why I fight it so much. I don't like going to sleep. I don't know if any of you guys experience that as well, but I'd rather be awake. I don't know, maybe it's weird, but it's just how I prefer to be. Some things that I've noticed over the week, more so, I get more introspective. I'm already kind of an introvert in general when it comes to just how I am, but bodybuilding has really allowed me to become more present and more aware of my feelings and understanding how I am feeling in the moment, much more present, much more in tuned to that. So that's something over the years that I have grown to really love about this process, especially as the diet gets a little bit more difficult, I should say. So that's, yeah. I saw a video with a IFBB pro bodybuilder. Excuse me real quick, I'm going to take a bite. probably speed this up, but I'm hungry. And by the way, what I'm eating for breakfast has really been working out well for me. Are these rice cakes, just plain rice cakes with avocado. About 40 to 50 grams avocado spread on it, a little bit of salt, basically avocado toast, and then a berry smoothie with about 60 grams of strawberries, 60, 70 grams of blueberries, ice, water, and half a scoop of casein, and then a cup of coffee. It's been digesting really well. I feel it. I feel, it might be just placebo, but whatever it is. I had been doing oatmeal. I had been doing just fruit, yogurt, playing around with different things. And I had this combination. I had been limiting the fats a little bit before the workout. But I really, really have enjoyed this. I think it was the fat that's making the difference. I don't know. Because it's not really high carb. This is 22 grams of carbs. And this is probably around the same 22 to 30. So 45 to 50 grams total, maybe, somewhere in there. And protein, probably like 20 grams. Fat is probably, carbs are a little bit higher because of the avocado. But the salt and the fat, I think, is making a difference. So, yeah. And let me know if you guys, what your breakfast is that are pre-workout for contest prep, preferred pre-workout for contest prep. So, but back to this interview I was watching, and it was of a IFBB pro, a very good IFBB pro. I shouldn't say good, well known. I said good because he places high, but they're all fantastic at that level, obviously, right? But I didn't really agree with what he was saying, and I didn't like the message that it was sending if you don't know the context, because he was talking about how the significant other of a bodybuilder goes through hell, and everything that the bodybuilder is going through, the significant other is going to be experiencing, and worse, because that bodybuilder is going to be rude and irritable and short-tempered and all of those things, which, I mean, whether you're a pro that uses PEDs or not pro, whatever, if you're dieting, yeah, you're going to be that way, but that doesn't mean that you have to take it out on your significant other and they don't have to experience. He was saying it in such a finite way of their, and when people see that, and people see someone at his level saying that, and then other people, like, he's like talking to other people, and the guy's like, oh, y'all know, it's one of those where it's like, no, don't put that message out. Don't make it to where this is how it's going to be every time someone is going through prep and has someone there. Will the bodybuilder experience those emotions and those things? Absolutely. I don't know how someone that is dieting for a contest is not going to be irritable and a little bit short-tempered and all of those things. But I do know from experience that there's certainly it is certainly up to the bodybuilder to express and relay those emotions to the people around them. And that is why I was saying I love this sport and I love this process, because I've noticed my own evolution and change and maturity throughout the years that I've been doing this, where I don't have to treat people that way. I don't have to let those emotions and those things overrule how I'm behaving towards other people. And that to me brings me more, not, I don't want to say more, but brings me just as much satisfaction and joy of accomplishing getting lean and sticking to the plan and doing all of the bodybuilding things. That's just as meaningful to me, saying that, look, this prep, I have conquered, or I have mastered this presence that I can maintain in the moment and say, hey, you're this way because you're hungry. You're this way because you have the luxury of being able to choose to do this, and the privilege of being able to compete and do these things, and you need to check yourself before you're an asshole. And do I do it perfectly all the time? Absolutely not. No, never. Right? Have I gotten better? 1,000%. I know I've gotten better, because I never even realized this up until a few years ago. The very first prep I had, I was in a relationship. The second one, I was not. No. I take it back. Yeah, the first one, I was coming out of a long-term relationship. Second one, wasn't in one. And then the third and fourth and fifth, yes, I was. And then this one, the sixth. And I know I misspoke on my first video. I said seventh time competing. Excuse me. 7th season. This is my 6th season. So the last 3, yes. And each one, I ask for feedback. How was I? How have I been? How am I doing? Let me know. And I try and get better. So this is a very long vlog, and I think it's an important topic to speak about. And it's not really even pertinent to me necessarily, specifics. Maybe I might cut this whole thing out and make its own vlog, but I think it's important to talk about that and address it, because maybe that clip isn't going around to the general population that's not into bodybuilding or not into this sport, but I thought it was something worth talking about. I'm going to pause for a second to make sure that it's still recording. Anyhow, that's, to me, was something worth mentioning and worth talking about. Again, I might cut this and make that its own little separate talking piece, but thanks for sticking with me through that rant. And as far as competitors, if you're watching this, I'm curious if y'all agree, or if you think I'm out on a limb talking about, no, that's just the way it is. But I'm speaking from my own experience, so I do want to clarify that most things that I'm talking about are going to be through my experience, and I don't want to make it sound like any other way, unless I explicitly say something else. So that was something that came up this week, and something, anyway, yeah. So next thing, as far as training's going, yes, the pre and post workout meals have been much more impactful and much more important to the way that I'm training. Before, it wasn't as crucial that I get the timing right, I get the ingredients right, or whatever it was. And now I can tell that what I'm eating, especially before, is impacting how I'm training. So that is, I shouldn't say how I'm training, but the energy that I have through the training. So yes, it does impact how I train, but I still try and bring the intensity and match and this is important about keeping logs too. I don't think I've talked about this, but If you're not tracking your reps, weights, poundages throughout your prep, then it is really easy, if you are going into the session fatigued or tired or whatever it is, not mentally there, because no, I don't care if you're a bodybuilder, powerlifter, strongman, whatever. You're going to go into sessions, multiple sessions throughout your training that you don't want to do. It's just part of the thing, and you just get it done. And those are the sessions where sometimes they turn out to be some of your best sessions, but some of them, if you didn't have your logbook, we are human and we are going to look for the easy way out typically. Not all the time, but typically. And so you have your book and you go back and you see, oh, okay, well, at least I got to do this. Or at least I'm going to start where I started last time and do what I did last time. And let's just match it. And sometimes you get through, like 2 sessions ago, things were moving like I hadn't felt this strong. I hadn't felt this good in my training in weeks, and I crushed it. Those are the sessions you also got to be aware of. You don't want to push it too hard, and outrun your, as Coach Jeff calls about, your supply and your demand. So that's another thing to keep also regulated, is some of those sessions you might just feel on and you don't want to push it too hard. Take advantage of it, definitely push a few things here and there, but be mindful. So that is, the logbook is invaluable in that regard. Very important to just have that, and especially for your future data too. Once you're out of prep and bodybuilding. So yeah, I think I'm gonna cut it here. Obviously, there's a lot that I can talk about and just ramble on about, but I think this is it for vlog number 3. Let me know what y'all think. Are these helpful, insightful? Do you like me rambling on about certain stuff like this? Do you want to see training footage, food footage? If you do, most of that's going to be on my Instagram. This is going to be much more long form and trying to be more informative and more documentary style as far as experience from what I'm going through. I will be trying to make some edits as far as more training clips and things for YouTube. And then especially as the season progresses, I'm going to be making more cuts into the competition, what it's like in that space, and then hopefully transition completely into YouTube with just like a bunch more variety of content as far as bodybuilding lifestyle. So yeah, thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Have a wonderful week.